Mama, welcome back to episode 2 of What's the Plan? Personal Growth for Busy Moms. My name is Sharon and I am so glad that you are here. So if you had a chance to check out last week's episode 1, we chatted about what the heck is personal growth and what does personal growth look like for busy moms. Today I want to jump into sharing my personal growth story and I'll explain why in just a moment. And then we'll go ahead and wrap up the episode like usual with some concrete action steps that you can take forward in your day. So without further ado, here is my personal growth journey. To be totally honest, I struggled with whether or not I want to share this. I am a fairly private person, as is my husband, and I just felt conflicted about sharing all of these really kind of personal things that not a lot of people even know about me. But my husband had a profound statement to make the other day when he said to me, if you knew that your story would help one person, would you share it? Oh, he always gets me. And he's absolutely right. So I figured, what the heck? So please know that I'm being vulnerable with you sharing this. And if you find yourself empathizing or feeling like you've been in a similar place, I hope that you feel as though you're not alone, because you are not alone, Mama. So it all started, I guess, we'll go back to when I graduated from college. I always had an extreme sense of loyalty and always craved stability. Those were two very important things. So when I graduated from college, I actually landed my dream teaching job, teaching 5th grade in a very affluent neighborhood, and I was pumped. I was like, yes, I have my dream job straight out of college, and now I have a plan. This is my plan for the next 37 and a half years, and I am so excited. The following summer, I had a great first year. The following summer, my husband and I got married, and everything seemed to be going according to plan. We bought our first house. Check, check, check. The wheels started to fall off about year 3. I had a really challenging year in the classroom, and I began to wonder if teaching actually was where I wanted to be. I knew that I wanted to have children, and so I hung on for a few more years through the maternity leaves with my daughters. And when I finished up the second maternity leave, my last maternity leave, I remember going back to school in August. I had spent most of the summer trying to desperately find a new job, but would then reject interviews when they called. We were in a really hard place. My husband was looking for a higher paying job to potentially get me out of teaching. Nothing felt right. And we honestly just felt stuck. So started the school year. It was hard. I was pumping. We had 2 kids at home under the age of 3, 2 different daycare drop-offs. I mean, if you're in the season of life, you get it. It was just a very challenging time. And I remember that January, being back at work, I hit kind of my all-time low. We live in New England, so winters are long and cold and dark and all the things, and I was just in the biggest rut of my life. I definitely have some seasonal affective depressive disorder going on, so it was just a very challenging time. And I, one afternoon, just kind of randomly was like, you know what, I need to take control of this. I need to do something. So I made a list of things that I was interested in learning more about. Maybe a hobby would help me. I didn't know. I was grasping for straws. So I started this list and took a look at it. Nothing really thrilled me, but I saw photography on the list. That was always something I'd been interested in and had never really pursued. My parents had bought us a really nice camera for our wedding, and I was like, what the heck? What can I lose at this point? So I got dusted off the camera and I signed up for a free online photography class, and within a few days I was hooked. I started to get excited, which was exciting in its own way. And my husband was excited that I was getting excited. He was pretty worried about me at this point. So I mentioned to him, hey, there's this photography class that I really want to try, but it's expensive. It's $500. Again, we had 2 kids in infant toddler daycare. We didn't have a lot of extra money at the time. And he was like, do it, go for it and do it. If it's making you happy, it's worth it. Do it, take the money, go. So I did. I signed up for the class and I was obsessed. I was hooked. I wanted to do it all the time. I would literally at school on my lunch break close the door and I would watch my class during my lunch break. Instead of my usual of correcting papers and trying to get ahead, I took that time for myself to learn something new. So I was finding though that the lunch break wasn't enough. I really wanted to absorb this content. I wanted to practice using my camera, and there just wasn't time. So I realized I had to make time, and the only time I could find was before my daughters woke up in the morning. Now, I was already waking up at like 6, and so earlier felt daunting, but I was committed, I was excited, and I wanted to do this for myself. So I actually started waking up at 4 a.m. The alarm would go off. My husband thought I was insane. He would roll over, I would get up, and I would go do my class for an hour in the morning. And I would, it was dark, obviously, so I would then do the whole school day thing and then rush home from school to practice with my camera while we still had a few minutes left of sunlight before the sunset at, 5 p.m. Thanks, New England. Love you. So I realized then that I wanted to make some changes. I swore up and down I would never make photography a business. And I started to dabble in some personal growth books. I started off with, during this time, and I started off with The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, which talks about habits. And I started to think about my habits and like waking up early and how could I do this better. I started to dive into some TED Talks. Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That really helped me get up in the morning. And I started to kind of just, learn about this whole new world that is personal growth and started to notice changes. I was happier. I was motivated. I was excited. My friends noticed things. My family noticed things like, hey, what's going on with you? You seem all lit up. And I was lit up. I realized that my personal growth was in my control, and I needed to take control in order to show progress. So I then went back to school again and slowly started to be reading more, exploring more. I discovered Rachel Hollis. She wrote the book, Girl, Wash Your Face. Rachel Hollis has recently fallen from grace. No one is sadder about this than me, but I really credit her with launching my personal growth journey. So I actually even went to Texas with a friend to go see her live, and things started to change for me. I started to get more confident. I actually decided with my husband to take a part-time job when the universe sent that my way, and I became a part-time reading interventionist. Remember that photography business I wasn't going to do? Yeah, I did it. Launched it in August of that year. And now I'm sitting in my photography studio as a full-time family photographer. And honestly, I can say that none of those things would have happened if I hadn't started my personal growth journey. There are so many people, so many experiences and ideas that I have learned about and met and had the chance to experience myself. And I can't say enough about it. It has truly changed me. And that's why I'm here today. I want to continue to share that with other mamas and show you that if you're feeling stuck, you're not alone. It's completely normal. Having kiddos is just, it's the best thing, but it's the hardest thing too. And you can make your life what you want it to be. 5 years ago, I thought I was going to be teaching for the next 30 years. I didn't want that for me. I would never want it for my daughters. And so I knew it was time to make a change. So personal growth really was the key to all that. And that's what I wanted to get across by sharing my personal growth journey story with you. So what's the plan, Mama? What's the plan? What's your plan? So I got into this journey a little more detailed over on the podcast. So if you're interested, you can check that out. It's What's the Plan? Personal Growth for Busy Moms. So you can check that out wherever you listen to your podcasts. I also share on there a mom moment, just a little story. Right now they're from me, but hopefully soon they'll be from subscribers. Just funny things that moms can relate to on this crazy motherhood journey that we're on together. Definitely make sure that you subscribe below so that you don't miss next week's episode. Next week's episode is 3 things that you can do today to jumpstart your personal growth journey. So trust me, you do not want to miss this. I'm so excited. And finally, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Growth Coach for Busy Moms. Thanks so much for tuning in, and don't forget, keep growing.